John Miller,
Sean Corin.
how are we doing today, sir?
Doing great. And yourself?
Fantastic. We're going to have a conversation today with John. He started a new role at RWC, which hosts brands by the name of John Guest, probably most famously in our industry. Also Shark Bite, Eastman, and others. We'll get into that in a bit. But just want to have a quick conversation, let everybody know, if they don't know John, which, I mean, for somebody like me, it's hard to believe, but some people might not know John. And we'll have a quick chit-chat today and let our customers and friends know a little bit more about John and his new role. So, well, welcome to our humble ado here.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate this.
Yeah. And in our chat this morning, I learned you were born in Arkansas.
I was. It's an interesting story. My dad was a pipe fitter with the pipe fitter industry, and they ended up in Arkansas. That's where I was born. Lived in Louisiana for a brief time till I was about 6 or so, and then we moved towards Arizona.
Okay.
And that's where I grew up in Tucson.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I've known John for probably almost 30 years. 27-ish, something like that.
It's pushing 30.
Pushing 30.
Yeah.
And I did not know that that fact that he was born in Arkansas.
Yeah.
So born in Arkansas. I met you at WCP, the magazine, and that was, like you said, almost 30 years ago. We'll jump back there, but I know you were in the Navy. Mm-hmm. So how long were you in the Navy?
I was in the Navy about 5 years.
5 years, okay. Based?
So based in Barbers Point, Hawaii, on Oahu, the island of Oahu. Did all my training out here in California and San Diego, and then also Millington, Tennessee for avionics training.
Cool.
Worked on aircraft.
Okay, aircraft mechanic?
No, it was avionics, so electronic systems, and I was an anti-submarine warfare squadron with a helicopter squadron. So we were shore-based and deployed on fast frigates. Just one helicopter on the ship.
Say that fast a few times.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast frigates, I like
Fast frigates.
All right. Very good. What did we do when we left the Navy?
So went back to Tucson and started back into school. And then I got involved with the alarm business, alarm systems for residential alarms. And then
Started a business, you said?
Well, actually, I worked for a company,
Okay.
Dictograph Security Systems. That's where I got my start and was just doing installations. Then they moved me into sales. And then eventually I started my own company and then sold that about 3 years later. Got away from that, and that's when I was approached by Steve Delgado, actually, a good friend of mine that was a journalist for WCNP magazine at the time, said that they were looking for a sales guy. And I knew nothing about magazines. I knew nothing about the water treatment industry. But I met with Kurt and Sharon, and we had a great conversation, got along great, and I was in. And that's how it all started, and that's how I kind of started meeting everybody, and here we are.
And when was this? This was in
This was 98.
98, okay.
Yeah.
So, water conditioning and purification is the technical name of the proper name of the magazine, right?
Right.
Formerly known as WCP in our industry.
Yeah.
Probably, especially in the 90s, was definitely the industry, the leading publication for all things water treatment, especially in the Water Quality Association world of water treatment. I definitely knew it, advertised in it, and so how many years did you spend there?
I was at WCNP for 12 years.
12 years, okay. So I have to assume working with Kurt,
Yeah.
Mr. Kurt Peterson.
Yeah.
This is probably where you got to meet a lot of people in the water industry.
This is where I got to meet everyone. It could not have been a better place to do that because, like you said, you advertised. I dealt with most of the companies that dealt with water treatment, either on the manufacturing side or the distribution side.
Sure.
So I would go visit them. I'd go to trade shows. So I got to know a tremendous amount of people within the industry and also within WQA, PWQA, Texas Water Quality, Eastern Water Quality. I had Great Lakes Water Quality at the time. I went to all those shows. So it really was a great place for me for a long time before I, kind of went into my next venture with Vertex Water Products. And but that was the beginning stages of having such a great format to meet so many people within the water treatment industry.
Now, I consider you more of a friend than a vendor, even though I've worked with you on the professional side of things.
Thank you. I feel the same way about you.
But John has, if you don't know John has a unique style. He's definitely friends with his customers, and he treats his customers as friends, and builds trust and rapport with customers. He has a I do what I say, kind of my word is important style. I would probably call your approach to sales and just business in general. Was that grown at WCP?
I don't know how that's grown per se. It's just, I think it just gets back to sales was easy for me because of the fact that we're friends. We get along. I mean, I enjoy spending time with people that I like, and there isn't really, there aren't a whole lot of people in this industry that I've run into that I don't like.
Well, let's be honest. I have seen you treat people that you don't like with a lot of respect.
Well, of course, you're always going to do that. I mean, we can't, be friends and get along with it. There's that. But in general,
yes.
But yeah, I think that was a good starting block for me. In sales early on, I just learned, there's a certain way to approach people, and my personality is, I think that I just try to, life's too short. Let's try to make things work, and if we can, great. If we can't, that's fine too.
So as we were becoming friends and developing relationship, we did a lot of fishing, and if you ever get a chance, definitely fish with John. He's quite the angler. There's been a lot of first, biggest, most fished claimed by John in my fishing adventures with John. Did you start fishing as a kid?
I did.
Yeah.
I did. My stepfather actually introduced me to fishing, and I always loved it, primarily for the reason that you're outdoors. It's a time that you can have to really reflect and, recalibrate, so to speak. So
Sure.
That's what really energized me around fishing. And then I'm kind of a water person. I've always wanted to be around water, and being stationed in Hawaii helped a lot with that. But yeah, I love to fish.
Yeah.
I've just always enjoyed it.
You used to get to paddle and chase some waves, I remember, too.
Well, yeah, I surfed when I was in Hawaii. I learned how. I was the Tucson kid that, from the desert, and got lucky enough to meet a couple guys that were really good surfers that took me under their wing and showed me the ropes, and that's been a passion too. I'm older now, so I don't get to do it very often, but that was something I loved also.
I remember in maybe 2006, 7, 8-ish, you were amateur bass.
Oh, yeah.
What was the title? Come on, there was a trophy involved.
Yeah, I was actually with the Miller High Life Tour, and it was the Western Outdoors magazine and all that group that I fished on that circuit for a while as an amateur. And I won the Mercury Cup that year. It was the highest prize that you can win in that circuit.
And then you retired, and now you just fish for fun.
Yeah, I don't know if it was really ever a retirement. It was a lot of fun. It was a great experience. But it had some older folks, around that time that I needed to focus on and everything. So I kind of put that style of fishing, those tournaments, on the back burner.
Got it. Well, if you do ever get a chance to fish with John, and it's probably not that hard if you're working with John and you've got a favorite fishing spot, all you have to do is probably mention that, if he came around on that day, he'll probably join you. So
I'm in.
I'm just helping you out and letting the world know that inviting you on a fishing trip is a good thing to do. When you were with WCP, is that when you started to get? I know you've been very active with PWQA as well.
Yes.
Pacific chapter of the Water Quality Association, regional. That's when you joined the PWQA and became active?
Yes. So got to know all those folks over at PWQA. It's it's in our backyard here for Pacific Water Quality, and at some point I was approached to join the board. So I joined the board of directors and got involved at whatever level they needed me to, just helping out with things. I was on a lot of convention committees. And then at some point...
Is this back when Bob Denny was still...
Yeah, Bob Denny was around. And Christy Peel was actually running it, Chris Layton's daughter.
Right.
And
rest in peace.
Rest in peace. Yes, Mr. Layton just passed. But then I worked through the chairs and was president of the PWQA, and have stayed on the board of directors since. Just helping in any capacity that I can.
Yeah, I've worked with John on that board in the past, and now again here in the current. But John's had a big impact on the PWQA, and were you president probably about 6 years ago?
Boy, time flies so fast
ago?
now. Probably 6 years. It's about right.
I know that was when it was. I think Mike Macca had recently been president, and Frank De Silva
twice.
I guess pretty easy to throw those names out. Yeah, president more than once, but I know you were real active and still are with. We appreciate your efforts.
Well, it was great to do it and be around really some people that grew this industry. Had such a just amazing people, and I was mentored by so many of these people. So it was an incredible opportunity that I appreciate to this day very much.
And when you left WCP. You joined forces with Vertex, correct?
Yes, it was a little transition going on, and I spoke with Hal, and we got together, and they were looking for somebody that could kind of handle their national sales for the company, and off we go on our second venture. And
this is where you learned more RO and assembly and filtration and
water coolers.
And water coolers, yes.
Yeah, a lot of water coolers. They still do. They're manufacturing reverse osmosis systems, and they do point of use, point of entry water coolers, along with bottleless water coolers, and bottled water coolers. So did that for a long time. It was wonderful. Again, learned a whole different side of the industry. In the magazine side, I got to meet a lot of people and understand what they did. Then when I got to Vertex, there was the direct application as a manufacturing facility and how that goes to market.
And now here you were focused more on working with dealers and with franchise dealers, non-franchise independent dealers, and other installation groups. Kind of a different subset of customers than the magazine, because the magazine was more manufacturers, just distribution, and now you were working with the people that were actually out in the field, which grew that relationship base, I have to assume, that much more.
Very much. It did, and it changed into it brought the opportunity to attend more shows like NAMA. That I'd never attended before. Which
is a merchandising coffee coffee office water type show, but it's a merchandising association, really, right? But based on geared toward workplace.
It's
office coffee, water, snacks.
Exactly. Right. It's office coffee service type setups, but it opened up a whole different market. So that's, being in that sector essentially brought me into a whole different place where these are the applications essentially to these products. So there's the beginning stages of the manufacturing and the dealers, and then there's where does it go from here? Who are we selling to, and who are they selling to, and where is the application down the line? So it taught me a lot about that. And then on the dealer side, who I sold to, there was the support aspect of it that I learned about. what do they need from me, and how can I help them, and where are the gaps essentially within that we need to try to figure out together based on their business model, because each one is different and how they're going to market is different, and the communities that you're in that you're selling in are different. One city is different from another, and
Sure.
it's just like water, it changes. So learning to adapt to what their needs were was a big part of it. So
You took the same, I mean, I know your story, but you took the same approach. It's that same, really, I'm here to support the customer. How do I best do that within their needs, and build trust approach? I saw that today. We had lunch with a group yesterday from previous relationships that you had developed, and you're on a hug basis. You walk into a business lunch with John and he's giving everybody a hug, which that says enough. We could drop the mic and go home now. But so you spent over a decade with Vertex, right?
yeah, I was actually there for 15 years.
15 years, okay.
Yeah.
Great. And now RWC. So there's been a change of the guards here at the Western Regional. John Guest, now RWC, John Guest, Mike Conti, who we've had here before in that very chair. And so it's a big chair you're filling, but
Huge chair.
Mike Conti retired at the end of last year,
Yeah.
or fourth quarter of last year, and don't worry anybody, he's living his best life. He's playing lots of golf and entertains himself at Costco once a week, but waiting for grandbabies from the Mace Cat over at Pentair. But anyway, I digress. Mike Conti is retired, and you've stepped up and filled the Western Regional. What is your territory now with John Guest?
So it's Western BDM, Business Development Manager. I was hired. So basically, Mike retired. I just moved into his spot, and like you said, big shoes to fill. I mean, Mike.
That's all right.
It
took him 30 years, almost 30 years. So we'll give you some slack for the first year.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
No, so what is it? Is it Texas? No, it's Arizona.
It's mainly West Coast. So I've got California, Oregon, Washington, Nevada, Arizona.
Got it. Okay.
Technically Hawaii, Alaska. That's kind of my region. So it's it's
lots of good spots to fish within that territory.
A lot of great fishing.
Good,
but
good.
it's a little different for me because I had the whole country before in my position at Vertex. So this is great to concentrate on this side for me. And again, I know a lot of folks around these regions and everything. I'm really excited to kind of check out some of the businesses that are outside of Los Angeles and up north. But back to Mike and being here so long. Yeah, I'm still learning so much that it was such a great opportunity for me to be able to move into RWC, John Guest, because I know so many people within the industry again, and it was a great fit. I think for me personally, it was time for me to make a change, and when this was offered to me, I couldn't think of a better fit for me.
Yeah, I know from a John Guest. We've been a John Guest. I've been selling John Guest, and Chester Paul's been a distributor for John Guest for since the '90s, and we couldn't have been happier to have you move in.
Thank you.
To the spot. There's a lot of trust already established. Plus, we're not having to train up some young punk. But,
well, you got to train up an older punk.
You got to train up an old fart. So no,
I've got a lot to learn.
Yeah, yeah, and you've got lots of good people that'll help you. So brands that we're pretty much focused on, obviously, John Guest, fittings, tubings, valves, Shark Bite, which is the CTS, quick connect, copper tube size, CPVC. PEX type fittings, Eastman, which has a whole variety of plumbing type connections,
Yeah.
and those are the basic brands now for John Guest. If you're a John Guest customer, you're based on the West Coast. Fun fact about John real quick. He loves to travel. He's got an Airstream, like a 20, 30-foot Airstream trailer, right?
It's 23 foot.
Okay,
Yeah.
a cool little Airstream trailer, and he'll do his sales routes with an Airstream behind him, and he's done the whole country many, many times. If you know John and you've talked to him about this, he's a maniac. He'll just get out and drive for 1,000 miles a day or whatever he does. But so he might even have a fishing pole with him in the car.
It's possible.
Probably a guitar too. No, so if you are a John Guest customer, Shark Bite customer, if you're a customer of Chester Paul or another distributor, John is now your contact for John Guest, and you know I can speak for John. He would love to meet you and visit you and learn about your business, because he, just in the short time he's been here, he wants to know how he can support the business that Mike and others built before him, and then continue to grow it. So what's the best way to get a hold of John? We'll throw your email up on here so that if anybody has a question for you, they can reach you directly. But that's probably the best way, just shoot you an email.
Shoot me an email, or I will give my phone number out, of course. It's 520-527-8003. And I'm very receptive to phone calls. If I'm not available, just leave me a message and I'll call you back as soon as I possibly can.
John is like that. He'll pick up the phone even if it's an unknown number. But we are happy to have you out here, and really look forward to working with you, John. Thanks for...
Thank you. I really look forward to working with you guys, and you know, hopefully supporting everyone in the same way that Mike Conti did.
Yeah.
He's such a great guy, and everybody that's ever worked with John Guest and Mike knows that. And I'm very honored to have this position, and hopefully carry the torch.
Carry the torch, and thanks for spending a few minutes with us here and learning a little bit about John Miller and John Guest. We've got a new newsletter out. Check it out, chesterpaul.com. Have a great day.
Thank you.